The international break brings with it the Future Champions International Tournament 2019. It's a week-long competition which will be here at the Nike Football Training Center. It's currently halftime here at venue. FC Spартак up against Бидвест Витс, as our commentator Grant Bissett rightfully said. It's a rematch of last year's opening fixture. Alongside me is Mutlugeleng Keninda. Mo, your impression of the first half?
A very interesting first half as far as Wits is concerned. They tried to push forward. The build-up is there. Just the problem is that the final third, maybe taking shots at goal, perhaps, or finding one another when they get to the box. The decision-making is very important. They caught them napping very early in the game. Spartak Moscow converted their chance very early. So the comeback from Wits was quite good for them.
Two teams that are matching each other pound for pound.
Look, it is a pound for pound. On the wingers, on the center of the park, it is a pound for pound. So one of them will just break and get a goal, and then hopefully none of them will come back.
Good to see Бидвест Витс not resting after Spartak went ahead.
Look, condition-wise, Spartak Moscow is actually dominating Wits if you look at the structures of the players and the aggression up front, putting the body up front all the time. And the pace is also frustrating Wits. But Wits is able to come back into the game and also combine and just try and get a goal.
Yeah, you speak of pace. I mean, these Russians are very big-boned. They've got the heights, but the Бидвест Витс boys are not afraid to get in those bodies. You know, Abashama tackle hard.
It's all about putting your body in front, come in front of the opponent. If the structure is too big, intercept the ball. You don't have to fully win the ball, just intercept the ball, poke it away. They came back and yes, they converted it into a penalty. Now it's game on. They also combining with the touches.
Yeah. Game on. It's currently 1-1 between these two sides. Coach Dylan has been very vocal. What do you think he's displeased with?
Look, it's a decision-making when they get into the box. Like this instance here, somebody else needed to open, but he had to go all the way until he was fouled, and then they got the penalty. It brought them back into the game.
Yeah, they're forcing the Russians to make those mistakes, hence they got the penalty.
Especially when they have such a structure when it comes to Spartak Moscow. So force them to make the fouls in their own half so that you guys can get a chance to convert your chances.
Yeah. It's currently 1-1. Will we have a winner between them?
Look, we might see two goals coming from one of the sides because the pound-for-pound matching is really one of the interesting factors in this match.
Yeah. Just 2 goals in it so far. Will we see more goals as we take a look at all the stats from the first half? Would you look at that? 3 goal attempts for Spartak at 3. As you said, Mo, they are even on paper.
Look, on paper, yes, they are even. And what is more interesting is that both sides, they reach the final third. Through the center of the park, yes, they do reach. And on the side, yes, the crosses are coming in. But sometimes they take the ball too much and just try to get into the box. So they need to at least find one another. The short passes for Wits, they are quite good, but they need to stretch them and find their number 9.
Dylan Shepherd knows the style of football Spartak plays. I mean, he led the team last year. Do you think he's going to make any changes in the second half?
Changes will be made, but give the game at least 10 minutes to play, see if they find the fit. Remember, they also need to acclimatize. So when you've got the bench that has not tasted the match yet, you're most likely to put in your subs after 10 minutes of the game. Maybe pull out the wingers because there was a lot of pace in the first half on the sides. And yes, in the center of the park, you might delay it and make subs later on just to put that defensive mentality in the players.
For South African side, they're used to these weather conditions, so are dealing with acclimatize.
But the AstroTurf is a bit of a challenge. Nobody gets used to it. It doesn't matter how much you train on it. When it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah. Well, it's currently 1-1 between FC Spartak as well as Бидвест Витс, 2 teams that finished 3rd and 4th respectively last season. Looking forward to what the second stanza has in store for us as Future Champions 2019, and it continues after this.
Welcome back to the Nike Center in Soweto. We have an intriguing match currently underway. It's Spartak Moscow deadlocked with Бидвест Витс. It is 1-1 after 30 minutes, another half an hour to play, and second half kickoff is imminent. And we are back underway. The red and white of Spartak, Krasnobelya, as they say in Russian. They'll be looking maybe to hold the ball a little better than they did in the first half. They only had 40% of the possession. They got a goal early, so perhaps when you contextualize it like that, then it makes sense that Бидвест Витс would have had a little bit more of the ball. They were chasing the game.
It's more on the movement of the players. As much as you would like to hold a player, but you need movements on and off the ball. That will make it easier. You look at the Бидвест Wits players, they have been very impressive with their movement, the positional interchange. That's what makes the Russian not to know whom to mark at some point.
Nice little 1-2, but can't keep it alive on the far side. He stands around this pitch, slowly filling up, plenty of umbrellas out. It's a hot day here, almost 30 degrees in Gauteng today, and it's temperatures that Wits will be very accustomed to.
You're right, compared to their counterparts, the Russian, they need to acclimatize. It has been snowing for the better part of 3 months now because of their experiencing winter, and when they have to come here, it takes about 72 hours to acclimatize.
Russia, in most parts, subject to bitterly cold winters, although they have very pleasant summers, as most people discovered that went to the World Cup, or that watched the World Cup even. This is Vadim Kromin, the captain, plays it in towards Mutaliv.
Good cover defense from Silverman as the three center backs. They will always be dislocated most of the times because of the fullbacks being thrown deeper to try and get the ball.
Taken short by Spartak. It's their first corner. What can they work from it? This is Mutaliv. Trying to work some space, puts it in towards the back post. It appeared as though there were hands on Charlie. The ball was a little bit too much on it in any case.
It did well, young Charlie, with a short frame compared to his counterparts like Globeman, who was towering all over him. As long as he didn't get the ball, neither Charlie do, and that's what you need as a short defender.
Good turn. Son will go behind, and it will be a corner kick. Won by Mutelusi Nare, who's an under-17 international.
You could see the experience that he has at the international level, the 10, the way he's always taking on Stepanenko. He knows that once I turn quicker, chances are he won't get me, as I'll be fast off the ball.
Dale to take. They know they're not likely to profit from these kind of situations. That's why there's only 3 men in the box. They cause havoc with that corner kick.
Not convincing from Boriskin. The way he came out, there was no confidence in trying to punch that ball away.
This is good play. Opportunity now. It may still be. Oh, it's a cracking goal. Dumiso Mkansi. And the Soweto-born midfielder puts Wits ahead for the first time in the game. Fantastic.
That was a good goal, Grant. As for Boriskin, you could see he's livid from the way it happened. They never expected it. And the good thing is that it's coming from deeper positions. Mkansi. If you look at the way Wits has been persistent, look at that ball from Silverman to find Simelane on the outside. And for him to pull it back. And what about this? For a finish from Mkansi. Full laces, but good work by Simelane.
Oh, that's a phenomenal hit. Clean. Wits lead. It's a pity that both of these sides are in the same group, because honestly they're both among the favorites for the competition, but only one side can top the group and go into the semi-finals. One of these two sides will have to be resigned to a 5th place finish at best. This could prove to be crucial. Both will be expected to win. Kept out at the near post, but I think it was out. Both will be expected to win their remaining 2 games, which means this game and the result they get here will be ever so important in determining who will make the semis.
I still feel this time around the South African teams have done well compared to what they started last season. In fact, last year, and that shows the determination for them to try and hold on to the trophy in South Africa. That's good start for them. They just have to keep on going. Highlands Park has led by example with a 4-0 win against the IFF, and now it's up to them to make the amends.
Well, for the first 6 editions, there were no South African teams inside the top 3, but they've got gradually better. They came very close in 2015. Torino were the eventual champions, as SuperSport came 2nd. Losing in their final. Orlando Pirates came 3rd, and Wits have really emerged as a powerful force in this competition in the years subsequent. 2016, they made it to the final, where they were beaten by Atletico Madrid, a narrow loss, just 2-1 in the final after they'd beaten Club Tijuana in the semi-final. In fact, they won all 4 of their games leading up to the showpiece. Oh, that's good. Offside called against Kabelo Mabelani. Wits have continued to prove themselves upon this stage. They finished 4th in 2017, went down to Sundowns in the 3rd, 4th playoff. They had again met Atletico Madrid, lost to them 5-2 in the semi-finals. And then last year got ever so close. Rabadanov just edged past them in the semis, and then they beat Spartak Moscow in the 3rd, 4th playoff to finish 3rd. Could this be their year? Well, we're all hoping it will. They have as good a chance as any.
So far, very convincing. That's the way they play. It's all about them taking responsibility and try to manage the game as they are on the lead. You could see the Russian, the instant reaction from them. They need that sense of agency to try and get an equalizer.
They are in the most difficult group, though. Spartak Moscow, Club Tijuana, and speaking about how the crossover games can really favor some teams and disadvantage others, Wits have a very disadvantageous crossover game. They play Club Bruges tomorrow, whilst Spartak play Tijuana. Spartak's crossover game, not easy either. They come up against Kaiser Chiefs. So yes, whilst Wits are looking like they may claim the 3 points here, anything could still happen.
It's now for Wits to win it, so that they know when they go to a crossover game, then they are able to salvage a point or even take it back. But you could see how much it means for Wits. You look at how Kambiaka coming from deep, trying to close down the ball. It's the anxiety that they need to control, because within the area, it favors the Russians when it comes to their height with set plays.
If they were to win it, they would have gone the hardest possible route through the group stages. There's still a lot of football to play. This game isn't even over. 20 minutes to go in their opener against Spartak Moscow, and they have to contend with this free kick. And the visiting side go direct. Doesn't come off for them. It was Melnikov having a go.
I don't blame them. It's the confidence that he had, set up in the first goal and playing good so far for Spartak Moscow. So chances are you'll always fancy to have a goal from that distance. It's only the delivery, to me, that is lacking from the Russians, as they've been playing very well.
Battle continues in the midfield. A header from Charlie, still the ball breaks here. So Mutaliv, he gets around Charlie and now tries to put it in. He's stopped by Shane Silverman, but the centre half for Wits has given away a corner kick. They go short as they did earlier, and they've lost out this time. And it breaks kindly to their captain, Vadim Kromin. Misplaced pass. Now can Wits escape? Looking to use his pace is Nare, and he has plenty of pace. Here goes Nare, tearing towards goal, and he gets his feet in a muddle. Well, he believes he should have been awarded a penalty.
What a blasting pace from Nare to leave Stepanov. I think after this game we'll need an ice bath from the way it's been taken to the cleaners by Nare.
Rabbadanov. You hear the calls from the sideline, picked up by the sideline microphones. It's a clear penalty, man. I think that was Dylan Shepherd, not quite sure.
From where he's standing, it might thought so, but the ref was at the thick of things within where the action was, so I think it's a good call for him. Mostly it was more like the ball clipping Nare's heels.
Nare backed himself from virtually inside his own half, knocked the ball ahead, and then just went in pursuit. These Russian boys are super physical. That's cut out by Mchali. Bad place to lose possession. Opportunity here for Spartak. And the deflection takes it wide of goal and behind for a corner kick. That was Melnikov's effort. It was diverted away from goal.
We can't ride the Spartak Moscow players. You could see that the sense of agency. They're always pressing high to try and get an equalizer. It's up to Mihandu now to try and help them when it comes to corner kicks, as he's one of the tallest keepers so far that I've seen.
Cries of away, and Mihambu is forced into a save. The towering Tostopiov connected with the ball, and well, he's there to be found. He is a head taller than everyone else on the park. And in that instance, they did locate him effectively.
You could see the disbelief from Balane's face to say, no, that was not a foul. I won the ball fairly and clearly.
Goal scorer, Tomas the field, Daniel Dyer, and Khodiso Sukati is the man on.
It will add some aerial power He's a tall fellow, so without any chances, they have to have someone that can have that presence.
Rabadanov, not good enough. Well, you're certainly right about that introduction. Sukati is quite a lofty lad, and he's going to give the two Russian centre halves something to think about. I like to see him now standing next to them, and I think he's as tall as both Klugman and Tostopdiov.
Off the screen, you could see Dlovov just trying to feel him from the back to say, hey boy, wake up, you are in a men's game now.
There he is, battling away with Klugman. Can't keep it alive though.
It will be an interesting battle. Just have to see who wins this one.
Бидвест Витс have a good record, not just or against Russian sides, but not just against Spartak. Back in 2011, they won 1-0 over Ruben Kazan. Wits have an interesting history in this tournament. It's only of late that they've really started to challenge. But back in 2012, they made a bit of history, I guess, as the only club not to lose to eventual champs Atletico Mineiro that year. A 2-2 draw they managed. Now 7 years ago. The Spartak have been improving all over the 2 years that they've taken part. 2017 they finished 7th, and then last year finished 4th. They started well, they made a great introduction to this tournament. Their opening game was against School of India, and they won that one 15-0. They would have thought, oh, this is an absolute doddle, this future champs Gauteng. They then won 3-0 against SuperSport, and they would have thought to themselves, yep, we've got this in the bag. They came up against Бидвест Витс and lost 3-2 in their next group game, and then lost 4-2 on penalties to Orlando Pirates, before finally finishing off in the 7th place playoff with another win, 5-1 against SuperSport. In that tournament in 2017, Danila Prosliakov was the top goal scorer, a striker. 11 goals. No one in recent times has got that anywhere near that kind of figure. That owed partly though to the 6 that he got against School of India. And it's good to see some of these players progressing. Prosliakov turned 19, and there's a goal. Oh, lovely! It's Nare who puts Wits 2 in front. He took his time, a considered finish under the goalkeeper, and surely Wits have wrapped it up now with a wry smile from Dylan Shepherd.
That's a good tonic for him to ease the pressure, because you know what it means for him to take a 2 goals lead at this point in time, because the Russians were piling more pressure, but credit must be given to Nare from the way he convected the ball. I mean, you look at Kambiaka playing a nice one with the right footer, and the flick from the man Sukati, but the composure from Nare, that's what made him to score this one.
Well, they haven't gone that direct very often in this game. They took the Russians by surprise. Took me by surprise. And Sukati's made an immediate impact with that great flick. Well, still about 12 minutes or so for Spartak to turn this one around. A statement of intent from Wits. Russians have to play now. Melnikov. They're going to open themselves up. The Wits want to exploit those spaces. They need to do better though when dispensing the ball out from the back after winning possession. Sukati was calling for it. And it breaks kindly. Real opportunity now. Shifting inside was Mchali, and then decent shot from Andile Similani. Rabadanov back here to Tostopiov. Little frantic from the Russians. They've turned over possession. This is Mchali. Nice and composed from Wits, whose senior team are challenging for a domestic league this season. Out in Russia, Spartak are currently in 5th place. It's the last Europa League qualification spot. They are 4 points ahead of Rostov and 5 ahead of Rubin Kazan, who were the first Russian entrants all the way back in 2011. Remember, I mentioned that Wits beat them 1-0. Rubin Kazan also the losing finalists against Atletico Mineiro that year. And Spartak's senior side drew their last game 1-1 against current leaders Zenit St. Petersburg. Actually have a few African players on their books. Their current top goal scorer is Cape Verdean Zeluis with 8 goals and 13 starts. It's a good return. Algerian Sofian Hani has also made 13 starts for Spartak this season. Proshlyakov, who's was the top goal scorer in 2017, still waiting for his first senior start, but turns out for the reserves. There was an opportunity a little earlier for Mchale, jinking past a couple of players, and then the ball broke for Similani. Decent shot, got it on target. Good save from Boruskin.
What an improvisation from Mchale. In fact, Similani, as a left footer, he had to try and balance to get that one on target, and was equal with a good save from Boruskin. Good play from Wits.
Cut out well. Now runners up ahead. This is a good opportunity. Perhaps should have taken one more touch to set himself, Sukati.
I don't think he knew where he was at that time, because that was a tame shot from Sukazu, expecting him to go with full laces or try to pluck it, but with more power and aggression.
Oh, speaking of aggression, wow, that's a little overzealous from Sibisile Maseko. I actually think I heard instructions from the Бидвест Витс bench just telling a young man to calm down. There's a change for Spartak as they look to turn things around here. Stepanenko is the man withdrawn, and Vladislav Suomov comes on in his stead.
I'm not surprised by the substitution from Spartak Moscow. Stepanenko had a torrid time with Nare, so chances are the legs are gone now.
Now shot from range is repelled. Good block from Molebo. It's Maseko turning away. He's done well since coming on.
They want to utilize pace from the width. They have seen that the Russians from the wing, they not have enough pace, the fullback. So Maseko, Nare, they will be want to orchestrate that.
Oh, I thought Similani kept that alive. That was clever.
Left-footed players, they're always clever and gifted. Grant.
Now a yellow card for Shane Silverman. The foul originated outside the box. It appears as though it has done so.
It is expected from Silverman, because most of the time it's been covering Mchali, who gets swamped in from where Mutalib is operating. So that's where the 3 center backs now, they have to split. And that's where the problem comes, because he's always late. You have to foul or let him pass. So you have to choose. Unfortunately, this time around, he chose to foul the Mutalib.
Will they be able to conjure up something from this? Krosidub and Rabadanov standing over the ball. Tostopiov will be withdrawn here. The towering defender, they are looking for a win with Frolov on. Rabadanov. Fierce effort, just over the crossbar.
Well taken free kick by Rabbadanov, but if you look at Miangu, yes, already covered that angle. Had it dipped before, it could have been easily saved.
The wind has just picked up dramatically around the Nike Center, and rain has begun to fall. And it's something we will need to contend with probably for the remainder of the week. You can start the day with bright sunshine, and dark, ominous clouds will come over in an instant, and there'll be a high-fall thunderstorm. But we're used to it now. Look at the action areas, all of the game concentrated in the middle of the park, almost 50% of it, in fact.
You're right. Most of the battles are in the middle of the park. That's where Vets have been with the likes of Malepo, trying to play those deep-lying passes and able to separate the middle of the park of the Russians.
5 minutes for Sparta to try and change the narrative here. It appears as though Бидвест Вит's dominance in this particular fixture will continue. It will be 4 matches without a win against Wits. For Spartak, it looks as though Wits will record their second victory. 2 matches drawn, 1-1 on penalty shootouts. I think that over the past 2 years, or 3 years rather, no other teams have played each other as many times as these two outfits. Now ball across, good intervention from the goalkeeper, Akani Miyambu.
He hasn't been tested much in the second half, and he come out tops with regards to this opportunity.
Has to come across swiftly, Molepo. And he did get the ball away effectively enough. Time running out for Spartak. Just a little slip at the crucial moment there, no foul. Spartak will come away with the ball.
We spoke about the dry surface earlier on, and it coming into effect as Nare was trying to elude some of the defenders as he trips over the ball. Maybe with a little bit of drizzle on the pitch might help the slippery surface for them to have a free-flowing game.
It's making a change. It's Uwais Karim, younger brother of Mohammed Karim, will be making his way on. Let's see what he can do. He's been with the club since he was an under 12.
Бидвест Витс have been known for having one of the most fruitful development structures in the country.
Offside called. Wits will move level on points with Club Tijuana, who got a win over Beijing earlier in the day in their crossover match. The Club Tijuana have arguably the easiest crossover match of all the 3 teams in Group B. Just to remind you that Бидвест Витс have to play their crossover match against Group A's Club Bruges tomorrow. Incidentally, Club Bruges will be in action in the final offering of the day. They take on Kaiser Chiefs. Massive game, that one.
What a game, Grant. It's up to Club Bruges to try and defend this championship because they won it last season. And as for Chiefs, they'll want to make sure that Club Bruges' quest of defending is not coming into life.
The Chiefs returning to the competition for the first time since 2016. They were one of 5 South African teams in 2016. Wits, Sundowns, Pirates, Chiefs and Mpumalanga Black Aces when they were still in existence, but they've missed the last 2 tournaments. Have Kaizer Chiefs. They'll want to make a statement this time around. Chiefs don't number amongst the South African clubs that have appeared most often. That honour belongs to Wits and Pirates, both this year appearing for the 7th time, both in fact appearing for the 5th consecutive time. Just shows the kind of continuity that they are beginning to establish. A club like Chiefs, they appeared first back in 2010 and then a long wait to make their next appearance back in 2016 and now in 2019. SuperSport United, actually, strangely enough, haven't appeared since 2015, but up until then, it appeared more than any other South African side with 4.
And these are massive teams in the country.
Yeah.
To have good development structures, they need to compete. That will nurture the young ones at the right direction if they're able to exchange those experiences with their international counterpart.
SuperSport United not able to make it into the semi-finals of the Gauteng Cup to try and book a spot in this competition. Highlands Park topped Group B that they were part of. Бидвест Wits won the Gauteng Cup. They had probably the easiest group, facing a school side and 2 SAFA teams. They won 2 of those games and drew 0-0 with SAFA Kuruleni, and then 0-0 draws in both the semis and the finals, but wins on penalties saw them claim the title. Another offside curtails yet another attack from the Russian outfit, as Vlad Shitov had tried to break the line. Inside the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Good start to their 2019 campaign for Бидвест Wits. Long may it continue, hopefully through the coming 4 games and through to the final. I do truly believe that this Бидвест Wits outfit are possibly our best chance of seeing a South African team finally win this competition. But let's not write off any of the other South African teams that are participating. They've started well. Land of Pirates look like they're a team to watch. SAFA Gauteng, and then Kaizer Chiefs. We wait to see what they can produce against defending champions Club Brugge. Now skipping away from 2 players is Vlad Shitov, applying some pressure now on Aba. Possession turned over Mutaliv. Even if they were to score now, as they do, almost, it's at the upright. Still, they continue on. But even if they were to have bowled to the back of the net there wouldn't have been time to get a third to level it up. Credit to the Russians, though. They really are giving it a good go. This is Shitov.
We spoke about them taking longer trips to coming to South Africa compared to their other ones, and it's showing.
Mutaliv. That's a good skill. They had a long journey, 12 hours. They traveled to Istanbul first and then to Johannesburg as Karim looks to come away with it. And that is the end of the game. Бидвест Wits come back from a goal behind. They were behind after only 40 seconds of play. They showed a lot of grit, mettle, determination. Could this be the team that lifts the trophy? It's the Clever Boys who get a victory in their opener, and they continue their dominance over Spartak Moscow. They haven't lost against this Russian outfit in their 4 meetings over the past 3 iterations of this competition. It was a tough old game, and Moscow still have an opportunity to recover in this competition, but they need to win their remaining pair of games to try and force their way into the semi-finals. Wits will do everything they can do to prevent that from happening. Well, lovely. 4 goals. It's Wits who win 3-1. James?
What a game. They showed pedigree first to come back from 1 goal deficit and to win 3-1. It shows how much it means to them, because they were on the 3rd place last year trying to compete, and this time around they want to win it, which is their quest. Lovely
fight from Wits. They equalized in the first half, 2 goals in the second, wrapped it up. They beat Spartak Moscow 3-1. And looking at how Wits earned this victory. Got off to a very poor start. Melnikov charging down the right-hand flank and putting it on a platter for Rabbadanov. He couldn't miss from there.
Indeed, he couldn't miss, but good clever play from Mildendorf from a halfway line, and Rabbadanov said thank you very much with an open net tapping.
Melnikov, I guess, expected more from him after that great run. Didn't really emerge. It was Wits then who took control of the game, awarded a penalty, and Daniel Dyer stepped up and unerringly deposited that in the bottom corner. And the clever boys were just getting started. This ball breaking kindly for Dumiso Mkansi, and a phenomenal shot to put Wits ahead for the first time.
That was a clean strike from Mokansi, but good clever play by Simelani on the left flank for a cutback.
Well, it's never the safest margin, being only 1 goal ahead. And Nare, the under-17 international, ensured that Wits came away with all 3 points. Lovely flick on from Sukati, who was fresh onto the field. Nare took his time through the legs of Boriskin, and Wits come away with a 3-1 victory. It was comfortable in the end. They dominated practically from start to finish until perhaps the Russians were chasing the game. In the end, that makes the tail of the tape look a little more even than perhaps it was. Бидвест Витс was 54% of the possession. Both sides had 8 shots, but Spartak were desperate to try and claim something from this encounter. It wasn't to be, as Бидвест Витс, who utilized all areas of the field particularly well, come away with a hard-fought but well-earned victory.
So much to our commentators, Grant Bissett alongside James Mayinga. A comeback from behind victory for Бидвест Витс. Coach, thank you so much for your time. What did you make of the performance? What a fight from the boys.
It was very, very good. We're very happy with our performance. To go 1-0 down so early in the game, it was presently surprising to see their characters, and we're happy they're able to come back, to stay true to what we're trying to do, to stay focused, to keep working hard, and to fight their way back into the game. So we're very happy about that.
And what pleased you the most about this performance?
They really showed their character, and they stayed true to what we're trying to do. They didn't turn their back on the plan. They didn't turn their back on what they're capable of doing, and they trusted themselves and they trusted each other, and it gave us great pleasure.
Thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you.
That is Coach Pupu of Бидвест Витс. They next take on Club Brugge, the defending champions. Well, stay with your World of Champions, because we've been treated to goals so far in all our televised matches. Up next, it is the defending champions taking on Amakosi, the 2019 edition of the Future Champions International Tournament. Starting to drizzle. Hopefully, it will rain more goals in our last fixture of the day.